Yeah, about the community, what we are doing, and what we plan maybe to do, and instead of just making tennis with Mo and trying to find solutions just to us, is now we would want to listen to you and to be influenced by what you are thinking. And we already tried some with. For example, with Esra, with Christine, we have already tried some directions, not finished, but it's in process. Here we are. First, the very private gallery is about making content, pragmatic content, realistic content that is for everyone. And mainly it is articles, guides, smaller contents that are easily printed. And before it was just for the community. Now the guides are for everyone, because in fact, what I saw is very few, I think, person in the community are interested in the guides. It's more like for the people in general, for everyone interested in art business. And I don't want just to block the guides just for the community. There are also the videos made by Mo. And sometimes they are in collaboration with, I think, Anna, you participated. Laura, you participate for the Residency. There was Tai,
Christine.
And Christine. And all of that is free access to everyone. There's also a forum that we decided to own, not to use Discord, but to have a proprietary forum that is not really working. Nobody is really going on it for now, but let's see. So that's the thing. Mainly, you are supporting when you give dollars or euro. The idea of the Patreon thing, supporting with your money, and thank you about that. And then the community, what is exclusive to the community. And one thing I really push forward is the idea that many person on social media today on YouTube, they are telling this is my community or this is our community. And in fact, there's possessive, there's the idea of you are human resource. And like social media, most of the communities are like that. In fact, you are a resource. What we want is the community to be a collaboration system. You are not ours. Everything in the community is for everyone. Of course, people who are leading on the content, but because we spend more time on that. If someone in the community want to lead on something, there's no problem. There's no possessive system. There's no hierarchy. There's a leadership on what people they want to focus on.
I like that. It's basically what you're saying is it's about leadership, not about ownership. So It's not like we own, how many people's cliques or, contribution, whatever, but we welcome the floor is open. Everyone can do what they want, just take the initiative when you involve more than one person. You have to, it's not a solo project if you bring it into the community. So you just involve another person in there.
That's why, for example, once Anna, you invited someone, and Christine wanted to invite someone, but she asked for that during the talk. And in fact, there's nothing to ask. It's better if we know who is the person, but
it's not necessary to ask for permission.
If you think, it's really good because you think it's someone interesting. We can do that. So there are monthly talks. It's what we are doing right now. There's a monthly talk based on a subject, and this is thanks to Laura, because before we were just doing get-togethers, talk without any subject, like a coffee, taking a coffee together and talk. And I think she's right that it's better to
have a structure.
Propose a subject and have a structure. What I'm doing about that is recording and publishing it on my kind of private YouTube channel that has not really many views, but it's more like for documentation aspect. If you want to refine the content, and also I'm taking notes, and so it's all based on a subject. So for example, this month's subject, I approach Tumblr. It's a very very old social media, and I really wanted to take a break and to re-update a very old article, one of the oldest article, because it has a very good thing. Tumblr is you can pay a domain name, and you can join your domain name with a content based on a navigation system. So you can have a professional portfolio with Tumblr that doesn't look like Tumblr. You can have a professional website as an artist for just the price of a domain name. Most of the artists, they go Squarespace if they are not tech savvy, because Squarespace is very good for selling. But if someone is very new for making a website, it's a very good opportunity to use that. And also it's outside of the scope of the focus on business. There's traffic, but there's not much bad things happening there. And if they shut down or if they change the rules, you can take out your domain name and still make your own website. You lose nothing. You keep your content and everything. So there is a guide at the end. I will give you the link. So first link, this is the private YouTube where all the videos are published. You can find. I don't publish the text, the notes, but if there's anything you are interested in, I can give you the source and the Tumblr article. So this gives an idea. It's the subject by itself is not very important, and it's possible that in 1 year Tumblr will close. So it's more something I wanted to do it because it was very old. We are half of the list. What is exclusive is work in progress document. If there's any subject, anything, could be artist residencies, could be is what we are working on with Esra, the ontologies of textile artists. I give you the access with Esra, your authorization.
Okay, I can.
I can give it.
Okay.
So the community, anyone can access the work in progress. So before the article and before the video, there is a Google Doc. Everyone can comment on and can participate if they want. This article is about textile artists. And this was something we were discussing 2 years ago with Christine, is to have an ontology on a subject that an artist is working on. For example, Esra is working on textile art, and she knows more about anyone in the community about it. So and likely you like it. You like the subject and you have your point of view. So the idea is to collaborate in it, and then for publishing an article and making a video, and it's all about subjects. So it can be Tumblr, it can be textile artists, it can be artist residencies, it can be anything. And it takes time, and the idea is not to rush, but make quality content and then come back to it. And when there's a moment we think it's ready, there's publication, and I'm doing the publication. Then there's so we did work in progress. So nobody outside of a community can access to that. Nobody outside of a community either can access to. We are paying tools, technical tools, SEO. WordPress tools, AI tools. We are paying bigger access, more than one person. So if you're interested in their tools, they are listed in the forum, and you can tell me. There's technical. I can give you an access, and usually instead of paying one seat, we are paying more, so anyone interested can have them. This is something I do for anyone also, is if there's anything technical, websites, mostly websites, you need help, you ask me, and I can help for that. But yeah, community has access to that. Then there's the coaching. For us who are living in Spain, the coaching price is quite reasonable. But for example, Christine is giving coaching, and normally our rate, I think, is 250, and she's doing the community price for someone in the community.
Yeah, so it's like 1/3 of her usual rate, and it's a 1 seat per month discount for someone who joins the community, basically.
Yeah, and she does so. Yeah, speaking about the wolf. Hi, Christine. We are just talking about you.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm here with my friend Cheryl Bolden.
Hi,
visiting
Cheryl.
from Paris.
Hello.
I apologize. We were at the ICA and just got kind of, I don't know. We went over to the East Boston to see Chihara Shiota's work, and then had to take the boat back, and it all just took a little bit longer than anticipated.
Yeah, just technically the screen on Google Meet is becoming vertical, so I'm not sure your friend will appear.
No, it's horizontal for now. I think.
Okay, it's horizontal.
It's okay.
Okay, I think it's okay.
You want me to reframe
I think
it?
it's good.
It's good.
It's just on my side. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were listing the things we are doing in the community for the community, and we were approaching the fact you are permitting and giving the coaching session at the community price, and it's something we thank you because you are sharing the benefits to the community, and also you are it's not the same price when you are doing it with ShowUp. So thank you for that.
I only do my consulting with artists pretty much through you guys. So
yes, thank you.
So, you guys are a special community.
Can I ask something very quick? If Christine is doing portfolio review?
Tell me a little bit more about what you're asking about. So if it's like in terms of like doing a consulting session as a portfolio review to kind of just talk about it, then yes. If it's to look at the work vis-a-vis the gallery, then we're not kind of actively taking in artists. That's not really how our process is. So I wouldn't want to like kind of give you the wrong message.
No. I'm just like remaking my portfolio because I was mostly working on digital, but now I translate my medium a bit and I'm updating, and I need a bit of different vision. I'm also trying to talk with my other artist friends and like which institution would be more suitable. Should I apply this? Like I want to come with my portfolio and to have a like general criticism. I want to hear. I want to be beaten. Like maybe some work not to put that. Like I want to improve my portfolio basically. Mostly for residencies.
Sure. So that's something that we could certainly do during a consulting session through, so if you want to kind of do that through Very Private Gallery, then that's absolutely something that we can do together through that. And you could just do like a 1 month thing. 4121. 4121. I tried to turn, sorry, I'm getting food from DoorDash as well. It's, I tried to turn it off so they didn't have to do it, but yes. Apologies.
No problem.
No, and thank you about that.
Greg, oh, pardon me. I have a question about something you mentioned just a minute ago, just to kind of understand the format of the meetings as they relate to one of the services you mentioned, like you showed us. You put a link in the chat showing us some research that you and Esra have been working on together. Yes. And so I have a friend who is the head of Penland School of Craft, and she's a really well-known textile artist. So if I want to give her name to Esra, should I put it on that document? Should I put it in the chat? Like what should I do with that?
So I'm sharing it again for Christine.
Oh, yeah, I want to see this document.
I went to Finland and I did textiles. It's funny.
Did you hear that?
Really?
Yeah.
You went to Penland?
Yeah, many years in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't ever been. I just have a friend who's the director now. Oh, wow. And do you recommend it?
Well, yeah, I was, like I said, it was in the 80s when I went, but I enjoyed it. I liked it, actually. Yeah, good residency. Yeah, definitely. I learned a lot.
Oh, that's great. I think it's grown too.
I would imagine. Sorry, go on.
No. One of the reasons that I wanted to invite you to come over is because I knew you would have things to say, and that I'm just gonna
first thing out of the.
And I was like, Cheryl cannot just watch because she has always amazing contributions. Cheryl's been an artist in Paris for 30 years and is an American and has done a lot of really interesting things in her life. And all the time new things come out like this.
Like Finland.
I don't know that. So
That's so funny and really cool. Yeah. I always read about it online and kind of dream about going someday, but the materials I use don't really match the focus at Penland. So I can either change the materials I use or try to convince them that the materials somehow align with their mission. But anyway, I think Esra would be a better candidate.
I mean, I always say like apply, and then the worst they can say is no. If it's not like a huge fee to actually apply, like what do you have to lose? All these schools and all these places I feel like are probably want to open up a little bit who they're working with and what materials and everything, and you might be part of that.
I like that angle. Thank you, Christine. And then Greg, where should I put that info for Esra, in the chat or in that document?
Christine, sorry, Esra, what do you think about?
If you put right now in the chat, I would immediately add. But if we cannot reach some information about her, maybe we can reach out to you again.
Okay.
Because not everyone is very stalkable on the internet. Maybe she doesn't have a website.
Oh, you'll be able to find her.
PDF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just
Yes.
put her name and Penland in the chat and a link or something, and that should do it.
So this
on
is a comprehensive list of textile artists.
Yes, this is a draft. So the idea is it's what we were talking about 2 years ago, Christine,
Okay.
about the ontologies. The idea is any subject can be, we are publishing article on the Private Gallery, and we are publishing videos as well. The idea is before we are working on it, and anyone in the community can have the access and can decide to work on a subject. And this is a draft that we are collaborating on with Esra, but someone else from the community who is working on the same subject could participate. So for now, the link gives the access to commenting only, but someone interested in adding is welcome. With the anthologies only, my proposition to Esra was to have an approach that is helping not only documenting artists but helping other artists in the field and demystify the subject. So it's about the authenticity. That means the connection between the personal story and what the artist is doing, mainly, and the, how to say, I forgot the term. So it's the, help me, Esra. It was
Provenance.
the provenance. I'm shy. The provenance. So it's not only like why the artist is successful, in why the artist is an authority on what she's doing. Most of the time, I would say 60-80% of the time, the reasons are not communicated. The main reasons. And it's something that is blinding the younger generations to access. Like when you are in art school, the professor will tell you this artist succeeded because of that, but it's not because of that. There are narratives that are not communicated. So, and AI most of the time will tell what is told in general, not the hidden reasons. So that's the idea, is to have an approach on a subject that is collaborative and then publishing it afterwards. So that's if you want to cut me and tell me anything about that, otherwise I will continue.
Do you want my opinion or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so one thing I would say is that I think that probably the word authenticity is going to raise a lot of red flags and is not the accurate or the quite the right word here.
Okay.
Because you're talking about people's biographies, and mostly the word authenticity is going to come up as, is a work by an artist authentic, right?
Yeah, like fake work or.
Yeah. So then you have that, versus if you're in someone's biography, you're offering almost a value judgment on whether you think that this is an authentic, a person who's doing authentic work. Like, are they a good artist or something? And it's too much into like a value judgment of them, which is it's too subjective. And you're trying to stay more objective to show that you're an authority on the figure, rather than putting in your own subjective voice, which is going to move away from being able to give authoritative fact.
What word would you use?
I really think you can probably just put in background, but background an inspiration,
Personal
maybe
story.
personal narrative or something like that. I also think that for all of these things, this is like the marketing tricks that my uncle, who used to be one of the head marketers at PricewaterhouseCoopers for their in-house agency, how he had me go through our website, like Beacon Gallery ShowUp's website. You have to imagine who is going to use this site, right? So who are your users?
Artist.
Okay. So what are artists? So I imagine that there's more than one type of user. So you have not only artists, you also have art historians, right? So things that artists and art historians are going to want are two things I'm already not seeing here, which is the person's Instagram page and their website. All right. They're going to want to be able to see not just your selection of their work, but where the artist is putting their own work, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that like, it's great to have like one of these lists. Like this is amazing, but I think that kind of trying to figure out like what the value add, right, of having all of this together is as well.
You mean more like a comparative study kind of, that is the value, or?
I think it's the ability to go into and out of it really quickly and kind of be like, okay, it's here, here's this person's website. And also being able to look at that one picture and get that sense of each person one after another. It's great. But then you also need to have those links in case people want to click away and like go check your website. It's like, it needs to kind of have that, like that fullness.
Yeah, the link will be there. It's just not in the draft, but every time there's an artist cited on the website, there's the link. So it's just not on the draft. So this I agree on. Authenticity, I have a tendency to disagree, but let's say, yeah, we agree to disagree, but I give you the reason why. And the fact is the person who is choosing the final word on the article is Esra. So my point of view on that is authenticity depends on the framework you are using it in. Authenticity in communication, and communication today is not the same meaning as in art. And I know about value and all of that, but in communication, I have a tendency of not talking about art when I'm talking about art. I'm talking about visual expression and communication. And there's nothing sacred. I don't value so much the term art. So that's why I have a tendency to keep marketing words and authenticity in it's really in branding is something you can use. And I totally agree that in art is something that you cannot really use that way. That's why it's a choice.
But I'm telling you that provenance and authenticity used in this way, it just it doesn't
yeah, I agree.
Doesn't feel quite right. I see Major Hughes and
I may have to maybe understand more about if you're just talking about the narrative that's being spun around a particular individual, or rather you're talking about their work, because and maybe it applies to both, because I think I hear authenticity a lot, and it gets really tangled with like the new and novel, you know what I mean? And so I wonder kind of like maybe how you feel about that relation. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding what you're talking about, but that sometimes people can overlook, an individual, because while something is authentic to them, it might not be novel, right? And I think those two things get conflated.
Yeah, I agree with Christine's point, is that to use this word is not worth it. I mean that for the trouble that in my brain is not worth it. It's like calling your newborn child Dick. And you can say Dick is a great name, you know, but it's not worth it for all the childhood jokes that he would have going to school, because it's just not worth it. Choose another guy, you know, Tom. Tom is a great name too. I mean, it's just not worth the risk to be misunderstood. But what Greg is talking here about authenticity is if the artist, between his personal story and his art, his expression, is that genuine from his heart? Is that his whole story is a con artist trying to pretend to be someone else? Is his personal story authentic to his expression?
I don't think we take ourselves that seriously, Greg. Like we weren't judging if they are sincere or authentic. It's just like the good thing of making this anthology, it helps to see the pattern. And when we look at their background, like all of the masters, they are coming from very privileged background. And the new artists were like really struggling to be accepted in contemporary artists. And it's a bit like textile art is like borderline contemporary art. It's very feminine dominant. It's like very overlooked female labor area. So it's a bit like hard to put things into words. But I also agree, it's like background maybe defines better.
It's more like integrity as well. Like if they are authentic in their expression, like to say the authenticity in the other way, in the creation way, not in the market's antiquity and relax way.
Right.
That sounds judgmental, no?
Or like creative authenticity or something like that. But we're adding in the word provenance is all about kind of like, right, it's just conflating a few things.
Yeah, it's almost like comparing liters with centimeters because they are not in the same comparing system. That's
Anna is rising and
yeah.
What I was interested in when you first brought up Esra's document was you were talking about secret sauce to be successful. And like, I think that would be really useful to other textile artists if there was a whole list and they were saying, oh, the secret reason that this person is successful is blah, blah, blah. Whether Esra defines that, or whether the critic defines it, or the artist itself defines it, it would be really interesting to say, well, the reason I'm really successful is, being really honest, or, in their success, or it would just be, I think that would be really useful to artists. Like, why am I feeling successful, or why is this artist successful?
Yeah. Usually it's rich parents.
It could be one of them. I'm looking for a PDF that someone sent me that I have to read that talked about how they hypothesized it's all network.
That's what I was going to say is,
and
oftentimes it's network.
Well, I personally have some great network, and I think Greg and Mo and I have talked about this before. It's like, if you don't know how to communicate them or have something to present to them that's almost like on a silver platter, it's not gonna matter. And even then, it can just be like beyond what they're like willing to put the time into. And so like I know a lot of people who, not well known, but they're very influential, and they are that connection for me. But it's still difficult to get them to like follow through and be like, okay, here's what the plan is. And do I really care? I don't really understand that, but maybe I have some friends who do, you know what I mean? So that can be like really difficult. But I think too, what you're saying about, I think the story and the narrative of somebody and having, whatever it is, authenticity, if you don't want to use that word, then fine. I prefer to use like the word truth. If something's, true to your, I just mean if something's true to your experience, I think that's really difficult to fake. And I mean, you were bringing up like forgers before, and it's like, they've made multiple movies about like Han van Meegeren, and I mean, he's remembered and things like that. And so maybe that's an art of his own. I don't particularly agree with it, but, that's something to consider.
Like sincerity, truth.
Yeah.
But what
I
is
mean, apparently he
what's
enjoyed it, so.
most of the time
You know?
is a lie.
That's marketing.
Sure, yeah.
Laura?
Anna, yeah, Laura.
Well, Major just really helped me think of something. And Greg, at the beginning, you were kind of starting to go through like the structure of the coaching meetings and different pieces that you and Mo and Christine are providing in this service. And and you told me that you've asked for this before, but that you didn't get a whole lot of feedback. And so I started to kind of think about that, like, how can I be a better participant? If I want to get a lot out of the meetings, how can I be a better participant? And Major just made me think of like one of the questions that I would submit if you said, what do you want to focus on today or next month or whatever, or in the future? And that would be how to approach your existing network. And I know this sounds a little elementary, but like literal role play, like not because sometimes when we make recommendations, I find myself nodding, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, I've tried that. It didn't work. Like really dig into that. Like, I probably did something wrong. Let's find out what that was. Like, should I have followed up? And when people in your network do really respond and do follow up, and they don't forget to call their friend who they told you they were going to call and that kind of thing, then I think it'd be worth some time talking about that. Like, I wonder what inspired them to do that. Like, how did I present my work that it had an emotional or a psychological, it made them care, and it made them care enough either about me as a person or about the art I'm presenting to follow through in their very busy schedules. So anyway, that would be like one thing that I think would probably help us all. And the reason I said existing network, we could also talk about how to develop a network, but we probably all have already at least a small existing network, and you kind of have to start somewhere and accumulate and build from there. And it's kind of easier to start from where you are instead of some pie in the sky projected hope for the future. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you.
Let me jump in with a couple of thoughts that come from my other parts of my life. One of which being taking boundaries workshops. And those are literally doing what you talked about, Laura, which is writing out scripts of how to respond in certain situations. Because you do need to have kind of like, hey there. I was just saying how in certain situations, if you're not sure kind of like how to react in certain situations, you can have scripts ready to go that you've practiced. Or if you're like, I don't like, especially with me with children, the kids are like pushing and pushing and pushing. And I remember going up to one of my children saying and being like, I'm pulling up my script from my boundaries workshop that I just took, and saying, I am not ready to have another discussion with you about why you can't play video games at 9 o'clock at night. Let's put this off until tomorrow. I'm obviously kind of pushing it a little bit here, but like, we need to have this discussion tomorrow when I'm not quite so tired. So you need to go to bed now, or something along those lines. And so that idea of, thinking about like, what is likely to happen in this conversation? What are the ways in which I think I might want to react to have a productive conversation? And then the other one is I'm doing some work in which there's been conversations around needing to find like a mentor. And how do you find someone to mentor you when there's like nothing really in it for them, right? So it's very similar to the arts. And people talked about coming up with your own project or your own clients, and then going back to a person that you would like to mentor and have mentor you, and then say, I'm doing this project. Would you be interested in helping me with it? And I think that immediately thought to myself, this is something that is very applicable in the arts. If you have a curator that you are interested in working with, or a gallery, or just an artist that you're interested in collaborating with, if you can find the project first and then have the space or the opportunity, then bring in other people.
Yeah, And I just want to say too, like we may have talked about this a little bit before, but I can just even like share some of my own experience in relation to what you were saying on that. And like, so I think there's two things. I think, art history is a really wonderful resource to look at. And, we're so fortunate to have, I mean, we can even look at the petition that Leonardo da Vinci sent to the Duke of Milan and what he writes about there and how he's going about contacting a potential patron and what he offers and how to talk about that. It's a bit, ancient and maybe not as applicable these days, but, there are some overlaps when you read those things. And then, with my own experience, I was dealing with a person who's like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They're saying all these great things. I'm connected to them by family who, this person's very close with. And, their main person they were really interested in connecting me with is currently, and he just became this in like the last 2 or so years. He's the president of Princeton Theological Seminary and so, you know what I mean? And his name is Jonathan Lee Walton. And so I said, okay, that'd be interesting to explore, being a figurative classical painter, doing, a large theological piece for them if they were interested in doing those things. But then it's fun. And I would check in regularly and try to say what's up. And she would say, okay, I'm going to be meeting him and things like that. And then it just cuts off. And there's no response why. And there's no hey, it didn't work out for XYZ. Maybe you should think about doing this and we'll go back at it again. You know what I mean? And so there was just no follow-up, even when there was like me putting in that energy to follow up. And so it can be very difficult and frustrating. And it's not that they're bad people, but it's like we said, they're very busy. They're type A, and they're while they may appreciate the arts, right, and want to help people, they don't always really know how to go about, doing that. And so maybe their best option is well, I can put you in touch with a friend, or maybe you can check out this thing that I patronize or whatever. So it can be really weird when you deal with people like that. We're so when you finally experience that together, you realize how fundamentally different your brains operate and where your hearts are at.
You could bring them into something you're doing.
True. Yes. And I think you mentioned that last time too. I think you said that. So
Sorry.
And specificity, you just made me realize that I haven't been specific enough when I asked for help or somebody's offered it out of the blue and they're like, what can I do to help you? I'm like, and that's where the script would come in. But I mean, I do know a few things to say, but I need to get better at that. And in the specificity, if you respond to somebody who says, I'm going to introduce you to somebody, even having how can I make it really easy for this person? And I have 3 questions to ask, and here's my questions. And when they have time to answer them, it could be on a phone call or email. And if they don't have time, that's fine. I just wanted him to know what it is I'm hoping this conversation, something really specific, because then they know you're giving them what they can do to help you instead of them trying to figure out what they can do to help you.
That's exactly it. And that was a big learning lesson for me is and what I was saying before is having this silver platter, right, that you are bringing to them, or, even as Christine's saying, is involving them in something you're already doing and saying, hey, I need XYZ. Is this something you could help out with, or that anybody who would be willing to help me out with? So yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
I would a bit not disagreeing. All of that things would work greatly, but I have another approach to instead of trying to reaching out people who I perceive as in hierarchy above me, who is more powerful than me. I'm more interested in creating a generation, someone as no name as me, as a curator, as a theorist, as a writer. And it's I don't want to sell this, it has to be genuine and stuff like that, but at the end it's very, very, very human relations, and it's it definitely requires mutual care. And I'm very into politics of care in general, and mutual chemistry, because it's it's a chemical thing going on between 2 people, communication, and willingness to keeping that person in your community long term. All the successful projects I made came through this long-term communication, because you get to know deeper that person. And even I kind of find my mentor in that way. I did exactly what Christine said, because I was like so impressed by his work. It's Mo's friend, and I was like, it was really inspiring. I immediately did an interpretation of his work, like daringly, and he loved it, and we started working it. But he's still like could be someone in my community. I don't feel like he has power on me. Like if I don't like, I would just fuck it off. It doesn't work. I think that's more also like protecting artistic labor and integrity for us. But it's like, of course, artist needs to make money, and like I also appreciate that business approach, and like pitching your ideas to curators and project managers is another aspect, but it's just like not how I approach, or two things can be true at the same time.
It's like dating. You can date within your own league, or you can try to chase apex pretty girl and see if you can get her or him. So it's different.
Yeah, I want to chime in because sorry to be late, but just from gathering what sorry. Okay. Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to chime in because I'm sorry I'm late, but from gathering what everyone's talking about, like it seems like you guys are talking about like how to propose project to a higher level curator or someone important. And so there's two stories that I want to share. I promise they will be short. So the first story is so last year I was in Hong Kong, and I connected with one of the local artists, and she would so graciously bring me around to all the openings, because I know nothing about the gallery scene in Hong Kong. And stupidly, I mean, not stupidly, like at the same time. So I met one of the art director from this gallery, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like, like hop in and like send her a message and say, oh, are you free on Friday? Can I hop in and see your gallery? And at that time, stupidly, I acknowledge my own mistakes. I didn't research into the gallery and look into the history. I just look at the Instagram profile, and for more, I just want to have a conversation. I didn't want to like research and oh, I'm proposing to you, blah blah blah, whatever. And so I went, and then the gallery director, honestly, was a bit. I figured later that he was a bit unhappy that I didn't know much about his gallery. Because and Mo might know about this gallery. Like this gallery, I can't remember the name of it.
What's the name of the gallery? I'm dying.
I don't want to name it because I know it's being reported, but it's one of the first gallery in the entire China that shows Chinese modern art in Hong Kong, and the boss is related to the second best art academy in China in Hangzhou. So it's quite a big deal. Like this is like they opened back in the 70s, so this is the first of the entire China. And I didn't know that until I finished talking to him. But he was still really nice, and he, despite the fact that I was kind of being dumb, he talked to me and gave me a couple of advice. And he was like, oh, and he kind of looked over my Instagram, and the one advice that he gave me was that try to network with people that are around your age first, like on your same level, on the same playing level first, because I try to network with the curators, with the art critique that are about the same age as you, because these are the people that are still waiting to be discovered, and you don't know whether they're gonna be somewhere or not at the end of the day, like in 20 years, but there might be a chance that they might be somewhere in 20 years. So it's good that to establish you should put your foot into the circle. So that was one piece of advice that I remember. So I try really hard. I didn't want to say I network, but I try really hard being a really genuine friend to a lot of curators and people, others in my age, that are in this circle in their whatever area I am in. So that was my first story. My second story is that recently I got a grant from Canada Council for the Arts to attend. My proposal was that I wanted to attend the residency in Banff. I don't know if you guys know about the Banff residencies, but it's pretty Yeah. Thank you, Christine. I figured Christine must know about that.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
So,
Can you add it on the comments?
yeah, Banff Art Residencies. Yeah, the visual art one. So I got the grant, I got the money, but unfortunately I got rejected by them 2 times. So I was like, so this is like such a first world problem, right? Because I have the money, but I have nowhere to spend the money. So I was like, you know, my head was spinning, and I was like, okay. I was asking everyone, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And people, my friends, my network here in Vancouver, connected me to the Center of Asian Art in Vancouver, which is not as big as Banff, but they're still pretty, pretty. How do you say that? Pretty well established. That's the word. So I shouldn't let this out of the. I just shouldn't let the cat out of the bag too early, because this is I still need to sign the contract. But I've been talking to them, and we talk about, like, you know, we can establish, they can set up a residency for me for 3 months. And when I was talking about all the consultant or advisor that I would like to hire, I researched into the curators that are in Vancouver that is Asian, that is related to what I'm doing. And there's one that I've been paying attention for a long time. Like, she's way above me. Like, she's like, you know, really established. She's been working with like museums and, you know, like way above my level. But because I have the funding, I already have the location, I have the project. I was able to ask the Center of Asian Art, like, would you be, and I knew that curator that I want to work with used to be the director of this Center of Asian Art many years ago. So I was able to, because I have the money, I have the project, I have the location, I was able to say to the current director, hey, would you be able to reach out to XYZ so that I can, we can invite her for one time to be a consultant. And obviously I'll be paying her for that one-time visit, right? And up to industry standard. Yeah. So the current director replied me and say, yes, we will be happy to connect you. And even if she said no, like, I still know other people who knows the curator. So there's, it's always helpful to, like, just kind of shuffle your network around and see like who knows what, and then, you know, and I think what Esra was saying, last lesson of the story, I think what Esra was saying earlier was really true, is that just be genuine and try to be a good person, and, like, you know, help all. And I think that's really helpful. I'm done with my stories. So sorry, that was really long stories, but hopefully that was on topic of what you guys are talking about.
Great.
Yeah, you're touching on something like so important though, which is, you know, to just keep going. And like, it's a very American, you know, don't take no for an answer, but like, you know, you're just exploiting all of the options that you have to find a certain, you know, result. And so it's like you said, you know, even if you hadn't gotten a yes from that first person, you have a backup where it's like, okay, I can go and maybe try to get to them through this person, not them, okay, maybe another person. And so that's like really important.
And I think, you know, like, the network that I've been building, it didn't come from, like, you can't build Rome in one day, like whatever, like, you know. So the network that I've been building, and, you know, going to openings and, like, talking to people, and just, you know, I know Greg said this, like, to me 3 years ago, like, do you have a no-go network? Like, go out and talk to people. So kudos to Greg and Mo from 3 years ago.
Yeah, it takes years to build networks.
Exactly.
And great works as well.
Yeah.
And very special technique.
Yeah.
Give yourself credit.
Thank you, Christine.
So I think networking for artists is something everybody's super passionate about. Also funding, like getting public or private funds. So those are the subjects we write down, and we would put it into the list to develop further. And we would like to, if the floor is open to, for example, call for paper, which is in academia, how they call it, call for paper. So if you would like to write about it, or to be a part of a roundtable discussion, it can be in a format of a video, can be a format of an article, like Esra is writing about textile art that earlier we've been talking about. This is also, you know, a part of the potential, like making a video. So I have been thinking and trying to make this apply for funding video, but it was the summer and it's difficult to get everyone. So I was thinking maybe scheduling a individual call one-on-one to Christine, to Anna, and to you, Tai, and then later in the post-production, I bring everybody's best tips and tricks into one video. So that is also kind of something that the community can work on together. And of course, when we get publication, everybody's mentioned, it's potentially published on our website as well. It's reworked, published on YouTube, different things. Yeah, Greg, sorry. I was diverging away.
Don't be sorry.
The floor is back yours.
No, it's to throw the ball to Karen. Is I'm throwing you the ball. Is we were talking about that when during the residency with your wife, with Enid, that we had a collaboration idea of on an article about the ontology of the kind of art you are in, your production, and we were not very mature on that at that point.
Where we're at with that, Greg, is like things have changed for us. So I'm literally back from Spain, and Enid's back in work for 4 months now. So I've been in Spain by myself for 4 months in a live-work residency with the gallery. And so Enid is running a library here in Ireland. So I'm back being a solo, no network. Network. I'm back being an isolated artist, which is great. I'm actually I'm listening to the networking conversation, and I spent the last work by choice in a box by myself, basically. So I could work and not have any external influences. So I'm back networking now, but I think I'm probably not the best person to be asking about networking at the moment.
No, what I was talking about is the collaborative articles on a subject, and so Enid is welcome to come back on the idea that it's long term. There's a doc, and we'll see when it will be published, and everybody could see it and talk about it. And Christine, what she told is very true, that sometimes the messenger, if the vocabulary is wrong, is the messenger mistake, is not the person who receives the message. And I like to disagree, because if you just say yes, it's not good for the talk. So I prefer to disagree, especially that she's the most maybe authoritative in art in the group. So I like to disagree, because not really anybody is disagreeing with so this is the idea, to welcome back to it.
Yes, exactly. And with Esra's work, we can use her contribution as a prototype to develop a structure. For example, in academia, when you write a thesis, when you write research, you write introduction, literature review, methodology, and then you develop, and then you have a conclusion, you have reference, you have a disclaimer, conflict of interest, footnote, whatnot. Okay, so there's like a kind of a cliche. We also need some kind of structure. For example, last time we didn't fully develop the article with Enid, because she wrote 3 artists as an anthology. Usually you need, for example, at least 5, just coming out of nowhere. I'm just saying, like, as an example. So we could say, if you start an anthology, you need to choose at least 5 artists. You can put yourself in it so that you get some, 1 minute of fame. For example, this kind of research rigor and methodology, basically. Yeah.
Since also in this type of articles, of course, this is not an academic study. There's not so much philosophy behind it. So I think quantity brings quality, because that's the only thing helps you to see patterns. I mean, it was like very smart of Greg to choose that 3 criterion to look at in the artist. So maybe as an introduction, it is useful to explain why we are looking at 3 aspects of artist life. And then like looking as much as artist, it's so helpful for the artist because you learn a lot and you never dive into in your niche that much. Especially like also Karen's like niche, artistic niche is like overlooked again. So there's not so much documentary. It's like also acknowledging the I don't know how to say genre. So I think it is like longer the better in this kind of anthologies. If it's like fine art, painting, then maybe creation matters. Maybe who you bring is a statement by itself.
It can be qualitative, it can be quantitative, but the thing is, it can't be really a mix of both because, for example, if you choose 3 artists, then you go deep. The 3 artists, you need to make a 5-hour interview to each, and then you do a thorough study and you publish the most complete study of the 3 artists of your choice. Or you do 1 paragraph for each, but you have 50 artists. But you cannot really do 3 paragraphs for 3 artists or 5 hours for 50 artists each. So it's like, usually you just need to choose your methodology, and both methods are valid, both qualitative and quantitative.
It's quality and quantity is like the bigger, better difference. The difference is the authenticity and provenance. The bigger it will be, there won't be published for everyone any article as big on the web on the subject, like 1 page, there won't be any, and qualitatively there won't be any as good on the web. So that will make the article maybe in the first page of Google, and that's value. And one more thing is what we added with what we started with Laura. We started before the thing we found out is a way to contact an expert on a subject. Now we are able. When Mo will be coming back on making videos when she will have finished thesis, will be more active in contacting experts. It's what we do for now, just during the residency. For example, if major comes and the subject is let's say history in art, about Renaissance and the relation to God and things like that, we are able to find 5 in a month. We are able to find 5 experts that will contact us and try to be with us in the talk, not in the community talk, but on a published talk. So if we add an expert like a PhD level on the subject, like textile art, and it will be in the article will go up. And now we are able to do that because we really failed, almost failed with Laura, and Laura find the expert on the subject because it was in your contact, Laura. But otherwise, it was very difficult. But now we found a very good way to secure fast connection to any kind of expert.
A lot of options.
Yeah.
So yes, in the future, what I offer is to help on the video side in case if you do a qualitative study of your subject, can be not even your niche. It can be for your own curiosity. You want to, let's say, study into, let's say, gender or, psychology of well-being of artists. Maybe that's something you're passionate personally, and it can be a valid subject that benefit the community and the general public. Then I can organize let's say the video recording, because we're paying for the app and stuff. So I can help with getting the qualitative investigation.
So we can do quality.
qualitative.
Let's not be
Quality, I
judgmental.
don't know. Qualitative, at least. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's better that it's not an expert art related, because most of the time the expert art related won't tell. It will tell. Most of the time will tell the let's be unpolite, bullshit.
Oh no, you mean BS.
and there are things, let's say, for the area, the niche of Karen, if we dig, it's related to Basquiat, and when there are artists related to value in the stock market, there's a foundation behind, and then the like Picasso, Basquiat, many others, the things published are controlled. There are lawyers, there are lobbies, and if you take someone, likely most of the time, art historian or someone like that, he won't be going around, he won't be criticizing the installed narrative. So I prefer to talk about exact science, an expert on exact science. So for example, instead of talking about Basquiat, because if you dig into Basquiat, the foundation can erase your article.
And can sue you for defamation according to libel law of the United States, of Europe, of another country as well. So there is effect, censorship. That's my subject.
Basquiat was almost a slave, in fact, in his studios. If you dig up, there are very bad articles, very bad stuff about, which would say is almost conspiracy. But there are things that Warhol was doing to Basquiat that was very bad, and he died of heroin because of that most of the time. Most of the biggest reason is that. So sorry. So yeah, it would be better for Karen to talk to, for example, because you have many identities you are talking to in your when you are working
in the creative process.
So there are experts in that. It's not really psychology, it's not an exact science, but it's more open to disagree. There are people, different psychologists, they can disagree easier than people in art.
It's not so siloed, like
Yeah.
it seems like it gets a much more creative perspective on what we're thinking about or studying, and then opens up a whole new audience potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can propose a subject, and then we brainstorm together. Either it's published as a form of article or article plus video or primarily video. So we're open for the community to collaborate further, because in the last few years, we only collaborated with Tai, with Christine and Anna for just a few videos, but we would like to integrate more so that we can, have more people get exposure to study, to grow together, and to interact and learn from each other a little more.
I think we talked enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and any kind of suggestions or anything that you would like to get from us or from others? What do you think? Like if we were the genie in the bottle, what would you ask?
That's like too good of a question. I'm like frozen. If we all think about something we're struggling with related to either the development of our work, conceptually, maybe materials, or our business, along the lines of website or marketing or networking or social media or whatever, if we think about maybe a couple of things that we're really struggling with, and we wanted to bring it to the group to say, can you help me brainstorm? Like if a friend came to you and said, I can't figure out how to post my art on social media, it makes me feel like a braggart and I'm embarrassed. Like, what would your good friend tell you? And like, what really specific tips would we give each other about our specific biggest challenges? Because I think we probably all have some overlap, so it would help more than the one person. And we could even do follow-up like in the next meeting and say, hey, did you try any of those things that everybody recommended, which kind of holds us each accountable. I think being held accountable, I know that we're not children, but I think that could be a benefit of a collaborative group, is holding each other accountable and talking about our biggest challenges. And then we know that we've announced it to the group and that everybody made good suggestions, and like, I'm too embarrassed to ignore all those suggestions, so I'm going to get some of them done before the next meeting. And I know that everybody's motivated by different things, so that may not even be appropriate. But those are just initial thoughts as I think about answers to your question, Mo.
Yeah, we could do that for the next. I would make an email, and then you could list what you want to talk about, and there's a paradox about that. I will throw a stone to each of you. Is you're speaking about networking, about collaboration, and things like that, and the problem is except maybe Esra, who connected with someone who didn't join the community, but there's no collaboration work. There's no even thinking about collaborating with any of you in the group. We put, let's say, Christine out of the game because she's not an artist. But if you know the others and you know what they are doing, the idea is, okay, different niche or whatever, but try not to work alone. It's the main reason of artist failure is you are independent, you are working for your own ass, and you're alone. Even if you say collaboration is it's just about you, and you're in competition with other visual producers who are working in hierarchy, like Walt Disney, Netflix, and all of that. You are the same. It's the same thing. You are making images, except they're organized. And in art, the tradition is you are alone and you are just following your inspiration and just don't work with anyone else, because it's what inspiration is. I know working alone is good, but the main reason of artists not doing anything in the society is that not working together.
It's very much a 20th century narrative too, because most of the time, throughout history, you were certainly not alone. You were part of a workshop. You were part of the beginning apprentices all the way up to the master, and you were doing a bunch of stuff, and you had a network. And so yeah, that really came around. Like they call it bohemian, right? Like you're the bohemian. You're just like, you have like a dirty like old studio, and you like work in there and just make it happen on your own, and you don't need anybody else. But that's I really hated my teachers at LCAD saying that all the time. That did like, nobody cares and it's all just you. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like I can read,
Hey.
I think I want. I think. Oh, Esra, sorry. I think I want to add to Greg's point about collaborations, and this kind of circle back to I think a conversation that I had with Mo initially 3 or 4 years ago. I think like part of the difficulties about the art world is that it's so opaque and it's so unclear, and there's rules and silent agreement everywhere. And one of the first thing that I felt like one of the bigger thing that I learned over the past 3 years is really understanding how the art world works. And the first thing I didn't even know, and to the credit of Mo, the first question she asked me is that, which discourse do you want to go? And I was like, what the hell is discourse? What the heck is that? So I didn't show that I didn't show my ignorance at first upon her questions. I just and then she'll, you know, go back and then like she's like, discourse, what is that? And I slowly learned over the last 3 years that there are different sectors to the art world, right? There's academia, there is the commercial, and there is the nonprofit, etc., etc. So I think one of the things that would help this community grow, number one, is try to let the outsider, currently whoever that's outside this community, a way to come into our community and a way to come into the art world. One of the steps that I think will be really good is to really explain, perhaps in one of most video, what is the proportional components or sectors within the art world. As we said, the academia, the commercial, blah blah blah. I think it would be really great to like kind of spell those out, and because going back to Greg's point, you know, it's all about collaborations right now, right? But if I am a completely beginner and I don't even know much about the commercial world or academia world, and I just assume that I can walk into museums and say, okay, I want to collaborate with you guys, like here's my portfolio, that is not going to work, right? So knowing where the boundary is and knowing what the cards that you can play, it's very, very important, I think, for collaborations. Like what I just told you, I walk into a gallery in Hong Kong and didn't know that it was like the first gallery that promotes Chinese artists, and that was stupid on me. But, you know, if I have known that, okay, this is a commercial world, it plays a little different than whatever that I was used to be, you know, or in Canadian context or whatever, that would help. So I think like just, you know, spelling out, just to summarize my thoughts here is that summarize, you know, if we can if we can concretely spell out what is the sectors of the art world, you know, like how do they operate, kind of, because they, you know, obviously they are different from region to region, right? The Americans are very different from the Europeans, for example, or even Americans or the Canadians are very different. Just to spell it out clearly so that, number one, we can make this community a little bigger and we can let newcomers come in a little easier, and to just like, you know, I think that would act as a very good invitation for them to come like, hey, we're open to collaborations, we're open to this conversation about the community and about the larger art world.
So practically speaking, your suggestion is maybe, for example, every season or every once in a while, each of us bring someone else into the group to expand it. So there are more candidates, maybe, so that more candidates brings more possibilities to potentials to collaborate. Is that what?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what yours and Greg's plan are for like expanding this community. Maybe perhaps you guys are happy with 10 of us
close knit family.
Exactly. Yes, Greg.
Yeah, it's more a problem for me what I like right now is the proximity, and we are reaching the crisis point of we are too many in the talk, and I don't know how to, because if Mo is back publishing the videos and we are organized on making more things, then we grow, and then it can more become a problem. To talks,
I think
so
it
I don't
can
know.
be. I have an idea. It's because many people ask questions, very intimate questions about networking. They want to have other people help them reflect certain things that obviously is not appropriate to record and publish, even though you just publish in our little archive. So I'm thinking maybe it can be two kind of get together, the one that is recorded and the one that is not. Maybe
even if there are 30, the answer is to make more get-togethers.
No, to have, but also to have, for example, a kind of a neat, very close group of people like what we have now, and then we have another more open, like walk in, everybody can join without really getting to know us. Whoever watched the video, no, it's just inner circle and outer circle.
Yeah, hierarchy.
Not necessarily. It's different.
I don't necessarily think we need to have an outer or inner circle. Like, like this group expands and contract from time to time. Like there are people who cannot, like who cannot show up every single time. I remember there were a couple that were here and then not here anymore, and then there are a couple that weren't here and here anymore and here. So I think you could just let naturally, maybe we set a caps to say like 15 people or 12 people, and we just naturally let people come and go, and like every one of us have different bring in different perspective, because we all work differently and in different region and different sectors. So like I think that could help diversify the specialties of the group, and eventually we can help. I'm done talking.
I totally
like
get
that.
Thais. Yeah, I like that too. I get Thais' point, because when the group knows each other so well, we are a small group, we can help each other better to brainstorm and give advice, because we know this person already, but not necessarily work together because of the compatibility issues.
And
like,
the region issues.
The region are different. Like if you want to paint together and one is in America, one is in Europe, how do you even paint together? Let's just say.
Right. I think you guys are still small enough to be flexible, so we can just let it go naturally, like 10 or 15, or you set a cap, right? Whatever that you're comfortable with, right? Greg and obviously that's the most important. But like just let it naturally flow, and like just how do we get new people in? And some people stay, some people will go, and that's okay,
So you mean like bring a friend, kind of one person invite someone else that you think might be interested, so we all bring a friend to expand the group? That's what you mean?
That I think that's the first point. The second point is that like all the videos that you gave are really great, Mo. This is a very specific idea, but I've been thinking about that for a while. Like all the videos that you gave are great, and that's the reason why we are all here. I think, but I and this is an idea, but I really think there needs to be like a summarized video, like introducing for like Art World 101. What is all the sectors? And and then you can cut off the video in 10 sections and say, hey, do you want to know how to work with a gallery? I talk about it in this video, so go to this video. And then
more like a course syllable, the module 1, module 2.
Exactly. And instead of me, like right now, your YouTube video is like a bit like it talks about a lot of specialties topics, but then I need a directory. I'm an organized brain. I need to find my dictionary and know where to find things.
Like a taxonomy system.
Exactly. So, and that would be a very, in my opinion, that would be a very good introduction to a newcomer to say, oh, this person, Mo, she has a system going on that she's like very systematically talking about the art world, instead of just like topic here, there, and I'm not saying here, there, okay. Instead of just like systematically approaching it, and I can learn it. This is course 1, course 2, course 3, and like by the end of course 3, I'm interested in this person called Laura. Like perhaps she's in one of the video. I want to learn more about her. So let me join the community and talk to her.
Laura?
I love the idea, and Greg, I sense that your comments when Taye first mentioned it are based on like your awareness of constraints there, whether it's technical issues or your time or Mo's getting her thesis done. And so I understand that there are parameters you have to work within from your end. I do think that the chance of collaboration would go up exponentially with each new person added. So if each of us, we might even have one of these meetings where we're like, what type of, not that we're going to make special requests, but like, let's talk about expanding the group. It could be just for like a temporary where you just invite, each of us invite somebody who's a working artist, and then just see if that helps, like get it really planned well with what words are going to be used at the beginning of the meeting, so that all of our brains are geared toward collaborative opportunities, helping each other out, connecting with each other, and that's like really the mission of the meeting. Because right now with only say 4 people, if we take out Christine, Mo, and Greg, I believe you're a wonderful collaborator and contributor, but I'm just saying,
we're
if you
not
want your
artists.
artists
Yeah.
to be working together more, it's really only 4 people scattered
Yeah.
across the world doing
Yeah,
different kinds of
true.
art.
They're very
And
far away as
it's
well.
kind of a
located.
lot to expect to be like, well, we pulled
Yeah.
4 artists together. We think y'all should be able to collaborate. Like maybe
Right.
that'll work. Maybe it won't. We can certainly help each other by all means. But as far as like really collaborating the way you've talked, Greg, I think more people would really improve our chances.
Yeah.
Totally
And-
agree. Yeah.
And I think I don't know. This is just another idea. Like obviously, it has its pros and cons, and I don't know whether this would be putting too much responsibility or too much stress on each of us. Is that I kind of felt like I know all of them, but I kind of feel like I don't know any of them at this point. I know Christine, and I know what she's doing right now, but I don't exactly know what she did before. Like I know Esra. I still don't know what she does, but
You
don't
only
think-
met Anna once in your life,
exactly
in real
I know
time,
Anna,
but you
and I
didn't meet
kinda
anyone else.
know what she's doing, but then I don't know what kind of experience she had before. So maybe like if we can give like a 10-20 minute presentation, and this could be very informal, like walking through your website, say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, and then all of a sudden I can know, oh yeah, Anna, I can ask her about XYZ, right? Like
Yeah.
Or a 5-minute presentation. Like
Yeah.
here's the highlights.
It can
of
be
who
like
I
a
am.
monologue, biographical monologue. Like
yeah,
you record to the camera 5 minutes and then you upload to the kind of mini profile, like a mini,
Right.
we do a collection.
Yeah.
Like
So
when
you
you
have
choose,
everything on the web.
yeah, but it's almost like, for example, it's almost like when you choose a hero in a game and you
Yeah.
click on the hero, there's a card and then you spin
Right.
it around and it goes, hey, I'm here, like,
I think
something like
everything is on the web,
No.
but it's still like, perhaps some people, their Instagram is not updated, perhaps sometimes their website is not updated. And even if the website is updated, like there's always a discrepancy between
and also,
who you actually
yeah.
are and what you
Yeah,
actually do.
exactly. It's very official. Sometimes when they have a very official front, because
Yeah.
their website is like non-profit, maybe this person looks very unapproachable, but actually
Yeah.
she's really fun,
And-
or he's really fun. So maybe it can be like a more in private, small recording
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
each individual.
For my brain, I just need
Yeah.
to know what that person have done and have experience on before I can like say, hey, I have this XYZ problem. Like for example, Greg, I know you. Mo, I know you. I know your background. I know Greg used to work for like art fairs in Europe, right? But what is it like, right? Like I want you to talk for 5 minutes, Greg. Tell me.
It was
all-
a mess.
now I'm putting the spotlight on you, Greg. I want you to talk for 5 minutes. Your experience at the art fair. I don't care about my talking. Like, I care about
I
you
think that's
talking.
a great idea.
We
and
could
more
do one
intimate.
session for that.
A whole
yeah.
session.
Maybe focusing on one person.
Yeah,
Would be an extraordinary. We
or
could
maybe
do
half a session because
extraordinary.
one session is a bit too much,
Yeah.
and
No,
for some
yeah,
of
he's going
for
fast.
some of our newbies
Yeah.
like us,
No.
like me,
Yeah.
I only have so many years out there to talk about before I run out of materials, right? So I think or for someone like Anna, she can talk for 3 sessions, right? So I think maybe we dedicate half the sessions and like just open the floor and talk about our own experience, and that would be
Okay.
very helpful. So next time I know, I want to know about ABC problem, I'll reach out to Laura.
I was
Yeah.
like American-born Chinese.
So I think it would be better as extraordinarization. And
Or yeah, exactly. Or can
because
be something outside
we have
of
one
the,
talk per month, so and there's another talk. It's proposed, and I didn't talk about it. Is about if there's a subject that is a collaborative project, and you want to put it on the table and propose it to someone, even if it's a collaborative project from someone else, we can make an extraordinarization for that.
Yeah.
And for the moment, nobody tried. I think there was Jeff. He tried, but it was not really. I don't think it was really attractive to be proposed.
No, I think for me, like when you propose that, like
Yes.
my brain naturally goes like, oh shit, I don't have a project right now. And then the
No,
second,
but if you have a friend, because I have a friend, for example.
Yeah.
Laura.
Well, I have to hang up, and I'm
Okay.
sorry to interrupt.
No.
I wanted to just say that I went to the Patreon coaching website, and you mentioned, so I think like really looking at this page and
Yes.
seeing what, I could be missing I feel like there was a listing of all of us on here at some point. So is there still like a listing of the community members that I could click on and then read their full name and then?
No, it's private.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think on Patreon it's private. You cannot access everyone. I think
Oh,
it's privacy.
where do, okay, so earlier at the very beginning of this meeting, you said.
Yeah, I
on the
sent an email to
You did?
everyone. With,
Yeah, it's on the
with
email.
Instagram and personal website. Like
Oh,
1
great.
hour before the talk, I do that to everyone.
Oh, okay. Sometimes 1 hour before a talk, if I have a meeting or something right before this, I won't be able to even check my email. But are that close to the meeting? So I would just need a little bit more. But anyway, that's just personal.
He
I will
sends
send you a
every
pigeon.
time. No, every time he sends it 1 hour before is because the confirmed members are listed and the non-attending ones are skipped.
Oh,
so
I
that
see, I see.
it
That's
doesn't
not what I was-
jam the reading.
Okay, that's not what I was even trying to bring up. I'm sorry. What I was asking is, at the very beginning of the meeting, you said the word forum. And you said on the forum, there's listed. Where is the forum? I know I should know.
So
I'm so
on
sorry.
Patreon, there's a pinned. It's called pinned or pinned?
Pinned.
Post.
Pinned.
Post.
Oh, okay.
There's everything on it. I think
Okay.
there's the link to the forum, and everybody can go to the
Yeah,
forum.
but I think it's a good idea in any case to do the heroes 360 spinning card for the community, active community members, so that they can, get to know each
So
other better as we
but-
grow.
So
It
two
helps.
person per talk.
No, I was thinking maybe we can do extraordinary talk.
Yeah, but 2 person.
Yeah.
No, during the extraordinary talk, each person speaks about themselves, and in the post-production, I cut whatever this person talk about his or her story
Stop about talking about post-production. You have no time for.
Okay. into like, or that is the get to know each other session, and we record everything with the get to know each other session, so that each person talk about their experience, ask each other questions, and then it's like speed dating.
Yeah, you need half an hour per person at least.
But
Speed dating.
yeah, speed.
Oh, I have to
Okay.
go. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
See you, Laura.
Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.